Yeah. Nick Tab, baby. We the new label.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, son.
Now this the black sheep sticking its home. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby.
I
And
need
nigga
it.
in hand, just understand my pocket's that deep. With nothing to prove, I ain't got nothing to do. And they can't compete, and I got
There it is.
nothing to lose. They told me I'm the one that's gonna benefit.
Summertime at the Wynn is not a bad place, and I get easily distracted as a stud, handsome podcast jiu-jitsu practitioner.
Yeah.
Bachelor. I don't know if I mentioned that part. Someone needs to carry the torch.
I mean, dude, I appreciate like the way that, you know, you embrace this single life status because you're out there hunting, but, you know, you still let it be known that like, ladies, this could be yours. And I admire it, you know?
Listen, man, I feel as if I'm kind of the prize.
I think that's the big theme of this episode.
I kind of carry myself that way. I wish I had a haircut. That's why I'm wearing a hat. Shout out Chino, the barber. He goes, anytime I see you with a hat on, I know you're going to hit me up the next day for a haircut. I was like, yeah. But again, shout out to the Wynn Studio. Shout out to George. Shout out to everyone in the control room. And we're back. We're back with your episode. This episode is for the peeps. Shout out to the peeps, the People's Podcast. We got some questions. These are a little bit more personal. You know, sports are winding down a little bit. These are also fun. Everywhere from, you know, favorite food combinations, jiu-jitsu. A lot of jiu-jitsu on this one, which was pretty cool. I appreciate that. And yeah, just some fun stuff. And also, you know, we've been doing this show now together for about a year, I'd say consistently. But for the people that don't know, you and I, we kind of connected when we did, and kind of like the Spider-Man meme. We're looking at each other like, yo, bro, we're kind of the same person. You're behind the camera, I'm behind the camera, but we also host and conduct our own content too. So we always seen eye to eye. And I feel, me personally, I don't know, I would love for you to speak on this. This is like a People's Podcast question that I have for George. Do you feel like being behind the camera has made you better in front of the camera?
1,000%. Bro, it's giving you reps. Like, just like how you go to practice and you go through drill after drill and you're seeing constant repetition and you're putting forth the effort to, you know, put on a show in which people would enjoy. You steal a whole bunch of things that you want to use from podcasters that you watch, and then you also know a whole bunch of the things that you hate when people are doing those things. So I know without a doubt that if I didn't engineer a shit ton of podcasts, I would still not have been as seasoned and matured. And bro, I'm only 25. Like, I can only imagine what another 10 years in this field is going to do for me. Cause I mean, I look at people like Colin Cowherd, and you know, you hear stories about the people that have put in their, you know, 10,000 reps or whatever they say to make you an expert, and you can appreciate it. But yeah, what about you? I would assume the same.
Totally. Yeah. I feel like there's just little things that whenever we're in the control room, we'll be like, damn, why are they doing that? Why are they doing this? Why are they out of frame? And like, now just subconsciously, I try to make it easier. Try not to speak over when I do ask a question. You know, sometimes I do because like something else I'll chain together. But yeah, it definitely helps, man. And it's made me way better. It makes me more comfortable too, as well. I'm coming up on 9 years of doing this show and just being in front of a camera and whatnot. And it's great, man. I love it. I love the behind the scenes just as much as I love the in front of the scenes. And I will say, like, the moment everyone knows, the moment I don't got to press no buttons in the back, I ain't pressing no buttons.
Yeah, I mean,
that's my main goal. I had a conversation. I was talking today to Maurice Claret. Shout out to Maurice. Got to get him on this show too, man. I'm surprised that we haven't reached out to him yet, but kind of feel like we have him in the back pocket whenever.
Right.
Shouts to Mo, man. Big love. We were talking, and Mace didn't know that I do content. He thought I was just
a tech guy.
Yeah, just a tech guy. And when we went to Indianapolis for All-Star, him and I were on the same flight. Had to connect in Atlanta to go to Indy. The So he waited for me. Obviously Mace, big time, first class. Me, last row. So you got to wait.
Yeah.
You got to wait for the boy to get out the plane. So as he's waiting, we're like waiting for Ubers together. He's like, yo, bro, I didn't know that you do. This is February now.
Mm-hmm.
Been working with them
All-Star
since
game.
September.
Right.
He's like, yo, I didn't know you do content and whatnot. Stat and Cam were telling me you're like really good in front of camera. I was like, yeah, man, I've been doing it, yada, yada. And jokingly, he's like, damn, bro, if you blow up, you're not going to work with us no more. I'm like, bro, the day I don't need to edit anyone else's stuff, for as much as I love and I appreciate all that, like my main goal is this.
Yeah.
I want this. I want to show up to record at 8. I'll show up at like 7, maybe closer to 8, #talent for my boy Brian in the control room. But I want to do that, man. And I want to just be full-time actual content creating in front of the camera.
Yeah.
But until then, I'm down to do everything else because you also become undeniable. You become such a big asset.
Yes.
Where it's you do this, and that, but then you also could do this. You just add to your arsenal.
Yeah. In a profession in which like learning what the next step is doesn't involve me to like carry around a fucking 50-pound weight or be out in the sun. Like, bro, I'll learn I'll pick up sewing. Like if changing the cameras on a show was knitting, I would be a pro at it. Are you kidding me? Like I am chilling. I mean, this is a comfortable 68 degrees in here right now. You couldn't ask for anything better. I agree with you as far as being in front of the camera. I do love though the process of creating a show. Cause like I almost feel like I've done it so much when I was working at Sticky Paws where, bro, I must have created 45 different podcasts for random people that were just coming to me. And that's really fun because you can kind of test out things, see what works, see what doesn't work. I mean, I know now a whole bunch of things as far as like shows need to have some sort of flow. Like my favorite shows that I watch on repeat have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Like a new podcast, Tosh.0, bro. His new show, his podcast, it's simple, it's straightforward. You get a little bit of him, you get an interview, his kid tells you a bedtime story. Kill Tony. I don't know if you watch Kill Tony. Kill Tony. He says the same fucking line every single week to start the show. I never skip through it. And then I know what happens in the middle, and I know William Montgomery's coming at the end. So there's little things like that once you start to see what you like and what you appreciate and what people like, that's what makes you undeniable, like you said.
Kind of ties into one of the questions that we got. We got a question from Chris. And he said, thoughts on people and everyone starting a podcast? Kind of piggybacks off what you just said.
So people wanting to start a podcast?
Or just getting into the space.
Do it now because it's going to be here forever. It's going to be like having an Instagram account. Who gives a shit if anybody watches, to be truthful? I always tell people that podcasting is journaling. Like, sure, you might be making fun of that person who's doing a podcast because their podcast might not be shit or, it doesn't look good. But like that person has a memory that they'll be able to show their kids. And from a person, I didn't have a lot of my sporting events like filmed as a kid. I literally have 3 DVDs at home of high school football games of mine. That's it. And then my highlight tape that's on Huddle. But that's all I can show my kids. But now, becoming a podcaster, you're just giving something, content to the future you and your future family. So do it. Because if you're in this state of what is that imposter syndrome? Oh, I can't be a podcaster. I don't know. I don't have what it takes. Yeah, you do. It's not difficult anymore.
It's not difficult at all. It's definitely tedious. And it's also, there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, the looks on people's faces when they come and they record here and they're kind of just, maybe they have a big bankroll and they just want to kind of throw their money around and, let me get in front of a camera and do a podcast. And then you start understanding certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need to have a show flow. This whole idea of, I'm going to shoot this shit with George. It's like, no, there needs to be structure. I call it
100%.
controlled chaos, right?
Yes, yes.
The best advice that I give to people, I'm like, describe your show in a sentence. And they think about it. They're like, oh, I've never thought about that. I was like, I'm asking you now. Like, how would you describe your show in a sentence? That's why, if we could go to a full screen here, at the bottom, it says the best sports betting blog on the internet. It's clear, it's concise. It shows the personality of the show. It shows the personality of me as a host. I've been told I'm a vibe. I tend to agree with that.
Yeah.
Sports betting. That's what the majority of the show is and the brand is. Do we talk about sports also? Yeah. Do we talk about other topics? Sure. They come up. Shit happens. Like fucking, we were talking about Hakimi that one time about like divorcing and how he cheated the system for the first time. And that video's gotten 3 million views on the 3 social media outlets. Like it's going bananas, right? So you need to have structure. And then eventually when you do it long enough, I think you're able to pivot where like I do have my jiu-jitsu coaches on because it's relatable to the host.
Right.
Which is another big pet peeve I have. And I know I'm kind of cutting a wrestling promo on like podcasting.
Brother.
But I think it's important where my biggest gripe with shows is I don't know anything about the host. Like too much of it is it's either guest dependent or you're telling me too much about stats. Oh, this guy's yards per carry. Bro, I could just go to ESPN for that.
Right.
Give me some flavor. Give me like some personality. Tell me a story that you have to sell your fucking Xbox to pay a bookie. Like I want stories. I'm a fan of storytelling. That's why I'm a wrestling fan. Why I like comedians. It's why I think my show works too, because you become relatable. When you're just like clean cut and you're just like by the book journalism and all that. And look, I dropped out of college. I never took a journalism class. I can't even formulate tweets. Yeah. You want me to fucking put articles together? I can't. So like you start to figure out your strengths. But again, knowing who the host is on the show is really important. Bro, and you probably could attest to this too. How many people come and film shows that you've been a part of? They leave and you're like, yo, I know nothing about Mike.
All the time, dude. And you know what's crazy? And I'll fucking say the names too. There's this dude named Randy Kaplan. He's had on Sugar Sean O'Malley and Dana White. The 2 times that he came to Siggy Buzz, right? Had questions out in front of him, all listed out, you know, on super big fonts, and he's reading off like he's got premier world champion, and then Dana fucking White, and this dude is almost disengaged from the conversation and just hammering a question list. 0 personality, 0 flavor. To a certain extent, like I understand what he's trying to do, because there's some people that start a podcast solely for money. If you're making it like a business, like this is what is going to, you know, make me money, and I know I have the access to really big people, and you could get the sponsorship, and you can give a fuck if people know about you, good on you. Not too many people can do that. I'm sure Mr. Randy Kaplan's very well off in the bank. So he's fine, but I know that that's why he's doing it. To hammer back the main point though, you gotta know who the host is. And if you don't leave a podcast feeling like your audience got a little piece of you, what are we doing? That's not the reason, like, because are you going to show that to your kids?
Yeah.
Bro, anybody can read questions to Dana White. Can you make them laugh? Can you make Dana say, oh, I never thought of that way? Or that's a very interesting question? Like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting, man, because I totally agree with you. And I've told this story many times. When I first started doing a podcast, I didn't know anything. I just was super passionate about sports. And I always was a sports dude in my friend group. And to go a step further, I was always the betting guy in my friend group. I was always like, yo, what do you think of the Cowboys catching 7 or whatever it might be? And I didn't know what the game was. I always just assumed, again, no background in broadcasting or journalism or communications. I didn't know what proper protocol was. So I thought, all right, I'm having a conversation with George. Let me get my 5 questions here. George, when did you stop playing football and why? George starts yapping. He starts telling me. George, when did you decide that the missus was the right person for you? And George is listening to that like, bro, you didn't even hear my response.
Yeah.
Because I was so worried about question 2, 3, 4. Oh shit, I got to get these 5 questions. Yeah. I'm shaking, I'm panicking. I didn't know what the game was. And then I started listening to the shows early on.
Yeah.
Like, bro, the first 4 years I was doing a podcast, I was listening to every episode. I just didn't know. I wanted to see the timing. Now I only listen to shows when I have someone on for the first time. I don't listen to the shows that us two do.
Right.
It's good. The first time you came on, yeah. When we have a third person in the chair, yeah, let me figure it out. Did I step on George's toes? Did George step on mine? What could we have done better?
Right.
Cool. Was the guest engaged? True story. CJ Watson, first time he came on. Second time he came on, completely different.
Yeah.
Timing was good, right? And then when you're co-host, you start talking about that too. And you know what, man? Like this whole imposter syndrome thing, like I used to have that too. And even before I moved here, I was just like, bro, everyone was a fucking loser in the beginning before they became somebody. Like who was Stephen A. Smith, friend of the podcast? Now, when he first started, nobody. He was covering high school sports. Who was this guy? Nobody. Who was Joe Rogan? Like everybody starts off as a loser.
Yep.
And like eventually you become oh shit, this guy's the godfather of podcasting. This guy's the Mount Rushmore. Like I told Stephen A, yo, you're the first face on the sports Mount Rushmore for me. Like my generation, the 35s to 23s now, right? So like that imposter syndrome shit, bro, I never thought about that. I've always been like confident and like kind of.
Here's the thing. It comes in waves. When you first did your first show at the Win, I'm sure there was a bit inside of you like, holy fucking shit, you know?
Sure.
I'm no longer in my normal environment.
Yeah.
This is, it's got all the bells and whistles. It's got enough, tangible items in here to make you feel a little, flustered. You might feel something if you ever do something live on ESPN. Let's say you're on like a McAfee cast and you're down on the field and you're like, holy shit, I have an in-ear in.
Yeah.
I have, an entire production team.
60 seconds till commercial break. Can we get a copy?
Like, it's loud as shit. You're in, Alabama Stadium. The crowd's rocking and you're down there and you know that, sure, there's a lot of people around here that might not be watching you, but you got millions and millions of people like that. That's the next wave.
Sure.
And I think, if you're having imposter syndrome over starting a show or starting a podcast, I think that barrier to entry, you got to break through like now.
Yeah. And I also think I personally, I have no problems with everybody having a podcast. I think that's one of the corniest and lamest conversations people have. Like, oh, everyone has a podcast now. It's like, yeah, bro, who are you? Like, I'm going to tell you not to have a show. Bro, by all means. Yep. You want my advice? I'm here for you as a resource. I'm going to tell you the truth about like what it is worked for me, what didn't work for me, and how long it might take. But this idea of like, everyone got a podcast now. It's like, all right, man, cool. It's like, so what? Everyone works out. Like, should they not work out now? Bro, because everyone to me,
it's the same group of people that are like, I don't have an Instagram because I'm going. It's taking up too much time. I'm going off the grids. I'm like, sure, that's amazing. Like I would not like to live like we're in the 1940s. Like I think what we've created is pretty dope.
Pretty dope. Yeah.
Because when I go out to a club on the weekends and I see somebody I know because I'm posting on social media, I see that they like my stuff. You know what I mean? Like you're opening up so many new connections. And for the people that say like, oh, everyone's got a podcast, like those are like modern day Amish people.
Yeah.
They're right up that alley. Yep.
Again, no problem. If you want to start one, by all means, do your thing, man. Do your thing. Be persistent, be consistent, and just ride the wave and weather the storm.
Nick, I got a question for you because I know you threw me one earlier and I had one planned out. Tell me and tell the viewers how you describe yourself on your dating profiles, on the dating apps.
I'll tell you right now. You want me to read you what my Hinge profile says?
I need to know this. Yes. This was my one question that I wanted to ask you.
I bet. Let me go right now.
This is going to be perfect.
All right.
You're welcome, people.
So you have like the written prompts?
Yep.
All right. My life soundtrack. Wu-Tang, baby, Cream. Dollar bills, y'all. Cash rules everything around me. That's the soundtrack. That's one of the prompts. I'll brag about you to my friends if your social media is private.
Nice.
That's a big, listen. If your social media is private, it's girls have no idea how much of a turn on it is and like a green flag, right? However, disclaimer, if you're using your social media to promote your business, your fitness career, like you're using that for a brand, obviously you need to be public.
Right.
But if you're Caitlyn that like
a dentist.
Yeah. And it's private, oh dude, like I'm gonna bend the knee. I'm in already. Like already I'm in. Again, this is just
right,
me.
Right.
And we're going off my Hinge profile. And then what if I told you that I do a bunch of dope shit? Just ask me about it.
That's so fucking lame. Oh my God.
And then my bio is Vegas living by way of Queens, New York, BJJ practitioner, producer of It Is What It Is, content creator, sports betting investor. I wish sneakers loved me as much as I love sneakers. And I tend to cancel dates to play FIFA.
Dude, I don't know how this. I'm assuming it's worked.
Six photos. 3 with my dog, of course.
Smart.
I do say
first one with the dog.
Oh, 100% the first one with the dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go.
She loves dog photos.
Yeah. And then the other one is me in my element in front of a microphone, and then I got Stephen A. Obviously showing the sneakers. I had the Grinch Kobe's on.
Yeah.
And then I have another one of me in jiu-jitsu. And like, yo, you know what? I do fairly well for myself.
Yeah, I mean, we're always sharing stories on Instagram. I'm like, yeah, Nick's out there. You always send me videos of like how you are positioning yourself to line up with other women. Did you ever make that one post?
Nah, I haven't.
On Monday? Okay.
I haven't. Dude,
follow Nick Days 10 if you haven't already done that.
Yo, listen.
Because this post is about to be insane.
Isaiah's not here, but he saw it in HD. I shoot, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm no fear of rejection.
I mean,
look, I'm not saying
You've
that
had a good couple of weeks here at the studio. Some shows that have some ladies on there.
I'm just saying, like, I don't go up to every single girl, and I was never that kind of guy, like growing up. But like, if I did, the social cues, eye contact, smile,
right,
yada yada, you're very pretty, whatever it might be. But I like, what works for me, bro? Dumb shit. Like, what I mean by that is like the corniest and lamest pickup lines, at least for me, always work. Like I'll see a girl on the phone at the gym and I'll walk by, I'll be like, yo, you didn't get the email for a dinner reservation? I got it. It's at 8. And they'll be like, oh my God, that was cute. Like, shit like that. Dumb.
Right. To keep
when I tell my friends this, they're like, bro, you're fucking corny. I'm like, dude, it works.
Yeah.
It works. I tell girls,
it's just getting you're tossing the line out there.
You got to shoot, bro. Step back, hand in the face. You're going for 3.
And it's just the repetition.
I told Lana, our friend Lana, shouts to Lana, I was on her show. I was like, yo, my most successful pickup line. I was like, I guarantee you're going to tell me it's corny, but it works like it has a goalie playoff save percentage conversion. I was like, yo, it'd be an honor if you broke my heart. Oh no. Every girl is like, oh no, I wouldn't want to do that to you. Ha ha ha. And I'm like, yeah, but it'd be cool. Yeah. And then I'm telling you, bro, the cornier, the better. It just works.
I always tell people to hit the girls with this is a first date question. It's what are you most afraid of in life? And
New York City rats.
Mine is not finding the love of my life. And then that opens up the floodgates to a whole bunch of shit. It could be a good pickup line too.
Could be.
But I was thinking more so a first date.
Could be.
What's your biggest fear?
New York City rats.
I do remember you telling me the story about seeing a
if I'm ever on a date with my dream girl, and a New York City rat swings by, she will never call me back. My manhood, my masculinity is going out the window. Probably gonna shit myself. Like we're talking, like these things are like the size of the laptop too.
Yeah.
That's why I preface by saying New York City rats. Vegas rats I could deal with. You ain't
bro,
shit,
it's the tail that gets me.
Yeah, that shit is like from here to the camera and it's like 10 feet.
Yeah. Ooh.
That shit is wicked, bro. That shit is wicked.
Yeah, shit.
All right. Let's get back into something a little bit more serious. Even though these are serious. I think this is a good one. This one is from RG Wiz.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite interaction you've had with a guest, but that was not recorded on camera. And I feel like both of us, it's pretty interesting because we both, like how we were talking about before, how we both are in front of the camera, we both network, we both are in rooms with people that were like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm talking to this person. What would you say is your favorite interaction?
So I have two. I have one in which it involves two ladies that they're porn stars, and it was after a show at Sticky. It was Michael Sartain's show, and Michael was like, "I want you two to like get on the table and make out." He didn't say that. They had offered it. I'm making him sound like a creep, but they had offered like, "Oh, you want us to like make a video for you to promote the episode?" And then Michael was like, "Oh yeah, let's actually let me like show John and be like, dude, they won't stop. Like they're doing this on camera. Like, I'm sorry." And then these two girls, they took their fucking shirts off and they went at it like on the table. And it was me, Michael Sartain, the two girls, only people in the studio.
Fire.
And I was like,
bricked up.
I was like, this is awesome.
No blue chew needed.
Yeah, you know, you become desensitized after watching so much porn that, you know, when you see something like that, it doesn't affect you. Second coolest moment that wasn't, I mean, that's pretty awesome, but second coolest moment was Pete Rose came into the studio.
Nice.
And it was a week after the Shohei Ohtani situation, right? This was still when nobody knew what the fuck was happening. So the people that were gonna be interviewing him, old Italian mobster guys, like
fucking pasta,
100, even bigger than that. They're American mobsters, not Italian mobsters. I didn't know there was a difference. There's a difference. So they have him on, and before the show, they had like said, you know, is there anything off limits? And then he's like, don't you ever ask me anything about Shohei Ohtani. He's like, the fact that he's still playing is fucked up. And it was that, you know, Pete's an old guy. It was a little, he's not looking the best, but bro, they were in their heads thinking, oh, we're about to make fucking TMZ. You're going to make ESPN with whatever soundbite comes out of Pete Rose's mouth on this situation. And he said that. And bro, I guess the reason why I bring that one up as being so cool is because you know how much it affected him and hurt. Like that one sentence, bro, like it felt like a weight hit me where it's just like, fuck, this dude's been through it all. And to see that shit and nothing be done about it. Oh,
totally.
It's a legend,
man. Like
bro.
this guy's legacy has been altered because he's not able to go in the Hall of Fame because of everything that transpired with him and the baseball betting drama, which we could dedicate a whole show to. Which, you know what I do now that I think of it, I do want to do an episode on like betting scandals in sports, because there's so many that I've referenced that people are like, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I didn't even know there was one, because it's becoming so much more prevalent.
Yeah,
that people are like blown away at the idea that there's like wild corruption, and you know about the notable ones, right? Because there's some documentaries on there. But man, there's a bunch of like, dude, an umpire just got in trouble in baseball last week, you know, and of course he's denying it because that's what you're gonna do. But yeah, there's a lot. That's a nice little summer episode that we could do.
Hit me with your moment.
Oh yeah, word. I didn't even ask this. Man, there's so many, but I'm gonna keep it brief. One of the coolest moments was with Brandon Marshall after I filmed with him. I was going to Circa after to do a VEASAN spot. It was a Friday night. He was like, "Hey man, do I gotta leave or anything?" I was like, it was maybe 6:30. I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna be here until 9 because I gotta be at Circa at 10, and you know I don't want to drive." I'm telling him the whole spiel. So he ordered food, got food for me too. We're eating, we're chilling, drinking together because we were drinking tequila on here.
Yep.
And like, they didn't talk football, kind of just talking about life and shit. And in my head, I was like, bro, that's crazy. I was like, you're a wide receiver one on my fantasy team. First time I won big money in fantasy was because of you. And then at the end of the night, I haven't told this story to anyone until now, takes out his wallet, has a couple hundreds, just goes, "Yo, here." I was like, "Whoa, what is this?" He's like, "Yo, bro, it was cool hang, and thanks." I was like, "Nah, I get paid from the studio and stuff. Like, I'm fine, man." He's like, "Nah, buy yourself some sneakers." Just Gave me cash.
Oh, what a story.
So like, yeah, that shit was dope, man. It was dope as hell. And then there's been a couple other ones too, like brief, working with Cam and Mace and the guys that they have coming to the studio. Like Rich Paul told me something really dope, and he was like, the better your circle, the farther you'll go. And like I just think about like the people that I've had in my life and the people that have left, and then the people that have come in. It's like, yo, there's always going to be a good balance and whatnot. So I would say those man. There's
good nuggets,
there's so many good ones, like so many good ones, and just trying to keep my composure when like certain people, like Victor Cruz came in here, bro. He's one of my favorite players ever, and just to like, we're in work mode. Like,
yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm like, yo, it's Victor Cruz, So it's been a cool thing to be able to interact with these people, man. Especially being here in the wind,
especially on camera too.
Oh, bro. I mean, shit, man. Stephen A. Like all the times that Stephen A. has been in here, and like being able to see what greatness is like, damn, this dude comes in 3 hours before his call time. He gets his makeup done. He gets all this shit done. And then, you're looking at his notes and he's reading over his notes and he's confirming with his team and his statisticians and all that. It's like, damn, bro, that's what it takes.
Yeah.
That's really what it takes. I mean, because that's the cream of the crop. All right, this is a good one. This one's from Mark in the Discord. Top hotels in Vegas. ... to see your favorite washed up podcaster. You're a dick, bro. But we are washed. We are washed also, right? We're washed. Listen, we know our flaws. We got whites in the beard here. It's kind of sexy. When I get a haircut, bro.
Yeah, salt and pepper, dude. Put that in the bio. Unhinged.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper king.
Top hotels in Vegas.
I mean, I told you I was going to go in a win promo here.
Yeah.
I don't think there is another property on the Las Vegas Strip that pays attention to detail more than the Wynn does.
Yeah.
When I come in here, it feels like when you go to Disneyland and how, have you ever been to Disneyland, by the way?
I haven't, no.
Okay.
No,
take
Disneyland,
my word for it.
World, none of that.
Everything's perfect. Literally everything is perfect.
Brian goes there like 8 times a month.
Brian's an annual pass holder. Shout out to Brian. Loving Mickey Mouse. But anyways, the Wynn. The rooms are amazing. They face either direction. You're either going to get a beautiful sunrise or you're going to get a beautiful sunset. I think, the next closest hotel for me would be Mandalay Bay.
Okay.
But
on the other side of the Strip, like
yes,
complete opposites.
Yeah, polar opposites. But they have, the beach. They had a wave pool back in the day. I don't know if they still have the wave pool, but they do like concerts out in their venue. And I've really enjoyed every time that I've gone there to have a staycation. But
bro, I'm
those are my top 2.
I'm laughing right now. I've never stayed at Mandalay Bay. I've stayed at MGM, Park MGM, Luxor, Cosmo, Bellagio, and the Wynn and Encore. Just an observation. As you move further up the Strip, so if you start to Mandalay Bay, you progress, you see like the class of people and you see like the financial status. Because also then the room is, Luxor, you get a room for like $80 on a Saturday. Yeah. Wynn, it's going to be $600.
Yep.
So like as you move further up the Strip, it gets more and more pricey. Personally, for talent purposes, nothing beats the Cosmo.
Well, they have all the bars, right? They have like the chandelier bar.
I mean, bro, they got the little patio, the balcony. Girls love that. It's like one of them like
iconic
shots of the Bellagio fountain and all that. But like talent wise, Cosmo, great girl, great girls,
amazing,
fantastic.
Notice how we didn't mention any downtown property. Have you ever stayed at a downtown property?
No, I haven't.
The only one, well, I guess Circa would be it now. But the only one worth a shit beforehand was Golden Nugget.
Golden Nugget in Atlantic City, that in the Borgata. So like in Atlantic City, right? You have like the shit casinos, which is like Bally's and like the Trump casino.
Yeah.
And then you have to really take like a $20 cab to go to where Borgata Golden Nugget is. And that's like your Wynn and Encore. Right? So just visualize it like that.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's pretty different, but yeah, Vegas is lit though. Vegas is lit.
Yeah, you can't really. I mean, you can go wrong. Don't stay at the Circus,
unless you're a clown.
Good.
I know some
Very
people
good.
that should go to circus. All right. This question is from Sadie. Shouts to Sadie. She trained Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with her. Importance of surrounding yourself with like-minded people.
Because if not, you'll feel like you're wasting time and your life won't make sense. Because if you are around people because like-minded has changed for me as time's progressed. Because there's like-minded people who get after it, which I like to extend myself in that circle. But really, dude, like a majority of my friends as I've moved on in life are like content related. So I think there's like-minded in mentality, and then there's like-minded in your profession.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And you can easily mesh with people that are in the same profession as you.
Yeah.
You can relate on a lot more of the, topics that, I wouldn't be able to hang out with a doctor. Like,
right.
I think after a certain amount of time,
well,
I would interview the doctor and,
I think it's a relatability thing too.
Yeah.
Like, what interest do you have? It's kind of an obvious statement that I'm making. But for me, I wouldn't even say like-minded. For me, I need you to, my favorite people do something. I know it sounds very broad and very simple, but to me, I like being around people that are building something or pursuing something. And it could be like, bro, you could be into like collecting comic books. Yep. I don't care. Pokemon cards. You could be into jujitsu. You could be a fighter. You could be a tech guy. It doesn't matter. Building a podcast. Like, it don't, but you need to be doing something that is not your main, like your side hustle. Like, you need to have a side hustle.
Yeah.
That inspires you, motivates you, keeps you grounded, and keeps you happy until your side hustle becomes your main thing. Like, I've been super lucky and super grateful that the thing that I always wanted to do is what I'm doing now. But I think, like, do you like being around people that don't do nothing, bro? Like, how long do you like being around them and chilling with them? I'm talking about, like, I have friends that are on Xbox 10 hours a day, and I love Xbox. And I do that like on Fridays and Sundays. Those are my FIFA days. Yeah. I'm blocking out 5 hours on each day. I need my 10 hours of Xbox every week. I do.
Yeah.
Right. When I don't get it, I'm like, fuck, bro. It's one of my five favorite things to do.
Right.
But I'm not doing that every day, bro.
Correct.
I can't be around you not doing nothing.
Yeah, but but in that example you just gave, you are spending time with them eventually. And so you are allocating a portion of your time to people that aren't necessarily getting after it. Not for a bad thing. I enjoy doing it just because it's kind of what makes me happy in life is giving those people something to look up to. Because that's the truest statement, you should always be hanging out with people that you feel are better than you, because you know that naturally that will rub off on you and you will eventually become a better person. So especially when the person that does nothing is reaching out to you. I think that's a big thing that people might brush off, but it's like, bro, they're reaching out to you for a reason. They see that you're doing well, and it might suck because you can't necessarily connect, but they could be looking at you as, all right, this person could give me some golden nuggets that helps propel me to the next step. That's the coach in me. Because you can never not hang out with those people. I think that's at a certain point that becomes elitist, where you're like,
I'm hanging out with people doing well.
Correct.
Yeah. No, correct. I know. I see what you mean. Mm-hmm. No, that's a fair way. You swung me a little bit.
Yeah. I'm not saying that it's my life's mission to change people into doing things
bro,
that I'm doing.
I've never hung out with people or been cool with people just because of their financial status. So I wouldn't even say elitist. Me, bro, even if you open up a restaurant and restaurants usually operate in the red, majority of the time, but this is the thing that you're into, bro. And it's yo, this is my shit. I fuck with that so much, man.
Yeah, if you are a passionless person,
yes. I
mean,
that might be the answer.
So, but for passionless people, I tell them all the time, bro, that's where going to the gym plays a huge factor. Clean your fucking room. Do laundry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do chores that your family gives you when you're younger are exactly what you need to do whenever you're in a funk and you can't figure out what the hell's going on with my life, or you don't have a job. It's like, you need to get really good at cooking for yourself, cleaning yourself up, making sure that everything in your circle is nice and tidy. And I promise you, with enough time, things are going to start to work out in your life.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. 2 more questions. We'll try to not speed through them, but they're really interesting. And it's also what we were talking about before, like relatability and like common interests, right? And I love, everyone knows I practice Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's one of my favorite things to do. If I don't do it 4 times a week, I feel shitty.
Right.
I feel like something is like wrong. I get depressed. I get anxious. It's like a weird thing, right? And this one's from No Show Thomas. How do you feel about all these major popular sports figures and actors giving the art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and the mats love? Do you think this is going to be like playing soccer when you were younger for a coordination thing? And it comes at a perfect time because Joe Mazzulla of the Boston Celtics, when he won the title and he was being interviewed by SVP, I believe it was SVP. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, but it was someone on ESPN. They asked him, "Oh, you got to get knee surgery." He's like, "Yeah, I tore my meniscus in March." And the first thing he says is, "I can't wait to get back on the mats." It's like, dude, that's so fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
Because this guy just won an NBA championship. And one of the first things he wants to do is get surgery on his knee, probably because he's in pain.
Yeah.
But then if that's 1A, 1B is I want to get back to training. And it's dope, man. Like Jamal Murray of the Denver Nuggets, he trains Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the offseason, and he rolls with Alex Volkanovski and like Israel Adesanya. You have Barry Bonds as a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I don't know if you knew that.
That's very interesting.
You have fuck, why am I blanking right now? And
Tua?
It's upsetting me. Tua, yeah, we did a whole set. Shouts to Jerry, man. We were at Syndicate shooting it. Like Tua credited Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and learning how to brace himself and fall and lessening the impact. And he didn't get no concussion this year, where the year before we did a whole video. Please go and check that out on the YouTube channel. It's super relevant, but it coincided with him having like a career year through like week 6, week 7. He was having a monster season. And it was the injuries that he was suffering, how jiu-jitsu helped him. Something as basic as like tucking your chin in when you hit the ground.
It's important.
And it's very important. So it's cool to see it, man, because I think if you're an athlete, if you grew up an athlete like I did, if you're someone that likes being coached, my favorite thing about jiu-jitsu, it's dope to pursue something that I have no aspirations of going pro in or competing, but knowing you're getting better and knowing that you do have the coaching element.
Right. Yeah, you don't get that too often. I mean, that would be like having a personal trainer, the same exact thing as having a personal trainer, but you're never going to go become like a bodybuilder.
Yeah, you're not going to be Mr. Olympia, right?
But there are goals that you set for yourself that you're like.
Think about this, right? Like growing up, what did every kid that played sports think they were going to do?
I'm going to be a professional
athlete. And then the realization comes that you're a 180-pound, 5'10" white guy. Your ceiling is pretty low.
Right.
High floor, low ceiling.
Baseball, golf, wrestling.
Soccer.
That's it.
That's it. You ain't going to be in the NBA, bro.
Nope.
You ain't playing quarterback. It's kind of quiet for that. But with jiu-jitsu, it's cool because like it's something that I'm doing. I've been doing it. November will be 5 years I've been doing it. I'm not even talking about the camaraderie and the discipline. Like I'm talking about just like the actual art. It's dope, man. I try to get as many as my friends to come take a class or come do it, especially if you know that they have a background in being disciplined and they kind of feel the same way you do.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's not that I necessarily fear what going to jiu-jitsu would bring to me. I think right now I'm on the mission though to become like a bodybuilder.
Yeah,
for real. Like I'm not fucking around. I'm hitting the gym super hard. But to go back to his question with jiu-jitsu, what other sports like can involve everything that you need as far as mobility? Like I think when I think of jiu-jitsu, I'm like, those are the most flexible people on the planet. Like for the most part.
Depends. I think that adjusts with your game, I would say. Because like I know some people that do jiu-jitsu. I mean, shit, I'm not the most flexible. There's certain like,
but okay, really, really good jiu-jitsu. Like when guys,
I saw what you did there.
Yeah. Not. I mean, you just said I do this for a hobby. I'm building on goals and everything. But for the people that are like trying to win like world titles, you know, or even if a professional athlete switches over, their flexibility is going to be tested. It's not like you're not in a butterfly position or you're trying to fucking use your legs to kick people off. Like that's hip mobility. That's one of the most important things in sports.
Well, I wonder, right? Because I've always asked my friends that play hockey, I'm like, yo, if you're fast, like as a runner, does that mean that you're a fast skater? Like, is that the correlation? And they're like, not really, because my one friend is a wizard on the ice. He's lightning fast, but like he's slow as shit when he runs. So it's like a weird mechanic. So I wonder, I've never asked Jerry or Shane this, my jiu-jitsu coaches. I've never asked them of, hey man, if like a D1 athlete comes in, is he automatically better in jiu-jitsu than fucking cashier at Walmart? Like they start at the same time. I feel like naturally the athlete's going to be better, but then probably over time.
I guess the question is like how the learning curve.
The learning curve.
And being able to like train,
sure.
You know, to a certain extent.
Sure.
I get where you're coming from though.
This last question, and we're gonna wrap up, fellas. Give us 4 more minutes. Is 4 more minutes cool? Thank you, Brian. All right. Jerry asks thoughts on the CJI versus ADCC drama in jiu-jitsu. Are you familiar with this?
Not until you told me today, and this shit it's hot.
It's hot, right? It's a hot.
This
topic.
is a hot topic.
So as a 2-stripe blue belt, stud, by the way.
Stud. So totally not average.
Yeah, totally not average. The CGI is a Craig Jones Invitational. And Craig Jones, for those that don't know, super duper popular Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, does a great job of promoting himself as a brand, as an entity. He is, if I was any good in Jiu-Jitsu, I would be like Craig Jones. Like, he don't take himself too seriously. He trolls a lot. I think his bio is like best second place grappler of all time or some shit. Like, he's known for like never winning big tournaments. But he does seminars and he has 200 people show up and they pay like $100. So like, he's doing well financially. Right. He does all his extra stuff and all like whatever he's working on. Right. He created a invitational. And it coincides the same weekend, I believe, or within the same range of ADCC. ADCC in the jiu-jitsu community, for those that don't know, that's like the title to win. It's like the most prestigious title, right? And there's been a big hot button debate, which is going to tie into the question I want to ask you too. First place in that thing is $1 million. You get 10K for showing up for ADCC, I believe. Might even be less. Could be talking out of my ass there. But people are electing not to go to ADCC to go take a stab at $1 million.
You'd be stupid not to.
Yeah, you'd be a fucking idiot if you didn't. If you're good enough for ADCC, it means that you're good enough to compete in this thing.
And there's no like worries that this guy, like the money's good, right?
Yeah, he's a big enough
tournament. You'd hate to see like a Fire Fest situation. This dude ends up not paying.
No, he's credible enough in the jiu-jitsu community, and he spoke about it. How people were like, "Bro, is this for real?" Because you fuck around a lot. That would be like me. That would be like me. That's why I said like, if I was to randomly go around Vegas and be like, "Yo, I'm throwing a tournament for first place, $100,000," people might be like, "Bro, are you serious?"
Yeah,
like it'd be random if it's me, right? But this guy is big enough in the jiu-jitsu world where it makes sense. And my question to you, to sort of tie all of this in, are you a believer of money buying you happiness? Because my case, real quick, my case, if I have a chance to win $1 million, I'm going to go compete in that. And I don't give a flying, you know what, about being a world champion ADCC. I'll try it 2 years from now, because if I can make the trial that time, I'm nice enough to know that I could go back.
Right.
You know what might not happen a year from now or 2 years from now? $1 million invitational. Right. We don't know. Maybe this is a start of things to come. And the conversation we could revisit then and be like, well, now we have more information. Information changes the narrative, whatever it might be. I'm chasing the money, bro. $1 million. I know social media is a lot of people that make you feel like shit if you make $90,000 a year, they're like, oh, bro, you're broke, you whatnot. It's like, bro, I think social media has created a lot of misconceptions of what real money is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's still like the 1% of people that are making the astronomical numbers that you're thinking about. But chance at $1 million, bro, you could alter your life.
I mean,
it's a no-brainer. Like it was when I saw people outraged and like jiu-jitsu purists, and I was talking to a lot of the guys and girls at the gym, and I'd be like, yo, what would you do? They're like, I think I would take the money. And I'd be like, I think you'd be an idiot if you didn't attempt that.
Are Shane and Jerry going to be?
No, but I told Shane, I was like, yo, if you had a chance, he's like, yo, I'd go for the money. I'm like, good. My influence is tagging along. You have to.
Because to hit your point, like, does money buy you happiness if you know how to spend it the right way?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think
that's the answer.
If you know how to spend it the right way, you'll never have another worry in your life. You know, you'll get really good at knowing where random countries are on a map because you're going to all of them. You know what I mean? You're going to have the freedom to, have people coming to you, and you will have the ability to change other people's lives. And I think it's like to say that you don't want the responsibility of money is extremely negligent, because us as humans, that's how we've operated since, the dawn of time, dude. If I had more bananas than you wanted to be me.
Yeah.
You want more bananas.
Yeah.
That was shit we figured out billions of years ago.
I'm gonna share a personal story with you. I haven't told anyone this.
Ooh.
And we'll wrap the show on this. I used to think money didn't buy you happiness until November of this past year. I've been in those situations, bro, where I was broke as shit. And like, I would have to come up with lies and tell people I owed money to like car payments and whatnot, just so I could pay out gambling debts and all this shit that I had to go through before. And I've expressed the stories in the past, how like the podcast really saved my life and kind of gave me an ability to monetize my love for sports betting without actually having to bet on it to survive, if that makes any sense. But it was around November where I was having a conversation with my mom, and my mom was just telling me like, when someone want to ask you for money, but they don't like kind of have the balls to, it's embarrassing, bro. You ask someone for money, it could be especially if it's like the wrong person.
You drop the subtle hint that things aren't going well.
Yeah. And it's embarrassing, man. And I've been there, dude. I've been there where I've had to like make up lies in order to get $500 so I could just like make sure my electric don't go out or whatever it might be. So I was talking to my mom, and I told her I was going to share this story, but she was just like, November is going to be tough. And, we want to come out to visit you for Christmas. It's kind of become our tradition. Like Christmas, we're going to go out to see Nick. 4th of July week, they're going to be here next week. We go to see him because of like my parents' schedule and whatever. So my mom's telling me all this, and like, I'm doing fairly well now where like I could take care of bills and whatnot. And I was like, yo, how much you need? She told me the number. I was like, all right, I bet. I'll give it to you tomorrow. She's like, for real? I was like, yeah. She started crying on the phone. And I was just like, yo, I got it. She's like, I don't know if we could give this back to you. And I was like, yo, I don't need it. She's like, what? I was like, yeah. And what days do you want to leave to come here? I'll book the tickets. And I pay for their flights. They haven't given me no money back. So when I hear people say money don't buy you happiness, I think of what you said before, which I think is the answer that I'm going to start going with. If you use it wisely, if you use it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that's the coolest. That's one of like the Mount Rushmore favorite moments of my life.
I mean, bro, I know that to attain that feeling that you had, because my fucking parents have kicked ass. Like my mom is a senior vice president at Southwest Gas. She makes a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
So like for me, like I know it might not be right now, but like I know that moment for me could be when I'm like 40. And then I build a part of my house for them to come live with us. That's a very Hispanic thing to do. But like that's the final transition to kind of pay back everything that they've given you. And to be able to do it like financially, like, I mean, fuck, dude. My brother did it to me and all my family. His first NIL check. He's like, hey, what's your Venmo? And I'm like, you better not do this. I mean, I'm not like, I was doing well off before, you know, he ever had this opportunity, but he just wanted to have that feeling.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's
you can't rob it from them.
Yeah. And that,
you know,
and that to me is the answer, bro.
Yeah.
That to me, like, for me, like, that's one of the coolest shits I've ever done in my life, bro.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. And I hope people could experience that too. It's something about like being a giver that's like so fire.
Yeah. You either give in financials or you give in knowledge.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And we do both on this show.
We do both. Make sure you hit that like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that shit. Do that. We're so back, bro. We're so back. Let's queue up the Patreon while we're here. Patreon.com/Veterans Minimum. 70 members. Thank you so much for the contributions. We appreciate you all. Nice little fade in there. That got me a little horned up. I liked it. As you guys can see right now, you see the $1, $5, $10 tier. There's giveaways. There's access to the Discord, the betting picks. There's a lot of fun stuff on there. Merch discounts, shout outs, tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh my. Patreon.com/Veterans Minimum. Daniel Gibson, Mahul Patel, Abel Rezin, Ben Kotzian, Christopher Velasquez, Derek Playtees, Dylan Chadwick, Jordan Riley, Jerry Shapiro, Mike Stevens, Mike Wozniak, Nick Crummich, and Thomas Robinson. Thank you all, you crazy bastards, for your contributions to the Patreon. Patreon.com/Veterans Minimum. I'm not going to say the P word again because I think I rattled it off 5 times in about 30 seconds. But you know where to find us. All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. George, where can they find you?
At Mr. George Carmona. Lots of great projects in the works right now. And for those of you who have significant others that like reality TV, tell them to follow the podcast Misunderstood with Rachel Yucatel. I am currently executive producing that show, and we made
EP, baby.
Bro, she's like, use executive producer.
Yeah.
I was like, you're damn right. I'm executive producing this shit. We actually had a piece make Entertainment Tonight last week.
Hell yeah, bro.
For a guest that she had on. So
fuck yeah.
It's doing
check
good.
that out. Check that out. And we'll catch you guys next time.
In his element, I'm a gold medalist, bronze like your medal is. So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course, beat of venison.
Dab. Most dangerous game. Either kill or be killed.